Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Faces and Heels, your podcast for pro wrestling here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and it is night 2 of WrestleMania. Yes, man, night 2. And night 2 has the unfortunate task of following night 1, Saturday night on Peacock. It was a phenomenal night of WrestleMania. I enjoyed pretty much, I would say 90% of the matches. It was only one and a half that I could sit back and say they could have kept that. But the majority of them were phenomenal. I mean, 4 to 5 star matches throughout the night, and a couple of matches that I weren't looking forward to shocked me, surprised me, stole the show. The main event of night 1 involving the undisputed tag team champions, the championship rather, the Usos taking on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, was epic. The SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, epic. I mean, these were some phenomenal matches, and tonight is no different. We have some phenomenal matches on this card, some that I wasn't looking forward to, and was after last night I am anticipating, even though I wasn't anticipating them before. I am anticipating them now, and none more telling than the opening match of night 2. We kick off WrestleMania yet again with The Miz and Snoop Dogg getting the crowd hyped, getting everybody geared up for the night, and enters Omos as we begin the opening match. Omos versus the Beast, Brock Lesnar. And like I said, this was the match, one of the matches that I was like, whatever. But dare I say, I enjoyed this match. This is crazy. Uh, you know, I didn't expect this match to go 5 minutes, and it didn't. Uh, it went about 5. I don't know, maybe 6 minutes. I don't know. If it did, I lost count. But it was actually good. You had Omos. Omos looked strong. You know, he was manhandling Brock Lesnar, which is unheard of, and Brock Lesnar selling his heart out. You know, this new Brock Lesnar from, I don't know what it's been, about a year, 2 years since he returned, a different Brock Lesnar. This Brock Lesnar really, really is getting guys over. At the same time, making himself, he's still the Beast, but he's helping these guys get over. And he helped Omos get over tonight because he sold everything. He he sold that back like it was nobody's business. Omos is a giant human being, and you really don't realize it until he stands next to somebody else who you feel is a giant human being. That person being Brock Lesnar. He made Brock Lesnar look like a dwarf, man. He looked like a hobbit next to Omos. But very good match. Everybody got some offense in, and the first attempt at the F5 failed due to the selling by Brock Lesnar, and he got a couple of German suplexes in on Brock Lesnar. I mean, on Omos, which was a shock as well. And he ultimately did get him in the F5 for the 1, 2, 3. Like I said, pretty good. You know, it's what I expected. I figured Brock Lesnar would win this match, but I thought it was going to be a squash going in, but I was pleasantly surprised and happy with it. Brock Lesnar versus Omos gets 3.5 stars. Next match for the evening is the WrestleMania Tag Team Showcase Women's Edition. We had the Men's Edition last night, which was a banger, I must say. Caught me by surprise. Will we get this tonight with the women's. No. Uh, the four teams in this showcase was Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green versus Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalia and Shotzi. This was just bad. It wasn't. I mean, the crowd was out of it. Nobody was into this match. Nobody. I If this was on Raw or SmackDown, I probably would have changed the channel, see what else was on until this match was over. That's the type of match it was. It was not good. You had buku botches. Uh, Nobody had chemistry. It was just bad. And then Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler comes in for the last 15, 20 seconds and win the match. They did nothing throughout the whole match. That was that. No real big spots. Nothing moved the needle for me. Um, but like I said, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler won. I pretty much picked that because I think they're gonna challenge for the women's tag team titles. So they had to come out victorious in this in order to, get that push going. But as far as this match is concerned, didn't move the needle for me. The women's WrestleMania showcase or tag team showcase, whatever it is, it gets 2.5 stars. Not good. It wasn't good, and I'm being generous with the 2.5. Yeah, it wasn't good. Moving on. I mean, this was real disappointing. I really didn't expect nothing from this match, and I got exactly what I was expecting, but worse. It felt like I'm like, man, come on, man, do something. No, it was no fire in this match, none, and that's real disappointing. All right, but that's all right. Night's still young, and in our next match. Well, before we got to the next match, Bobby Lashley, he comes out. He won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown the other night. So he just came out with the trophy, and that was that. So now I'm like, okay, what what's going on, man? And then the Intercontinental Championship match happened. My God. You want to talk about redemption for the last hour? Or, well, I'll say 45 minutes. Because for the last 45 minutes at this point, I was almost to the point of checking out. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, man, this is getting bad. And granted, it was only one match, and then we went into that Bobby Lashley thing, but I thought Bobby Lashley was challenging somebody, and nothing. He ain't speaking nothing. He just came out. But anyways, this match happened. Made me forget about that. The only reason I had to remember it because I have to recap it. But the Intercontinental Championship match between the champion Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. And I knew this was going to be a slobber knocker, in the words of JR. I knew this was going to be big burly men slapping meat. I knew it was going to be some slaps, some chest slaps and all this here. I knew all this was coming. But my God, what a match. No wasted motions, no wasted minutes. This was kind of a fast-paced match for these big fellas, and they would bring it. Because there was no doubt. Sheamus is a beast. Sheamus is a multi-time champion. Drew McIntyre is a multi-time champion, and we have Gunther, formerly known as Walter. He is a champion in his own right. Not to mention he's the incumbent champion. If you was waiting to see a fight and not a pro wrestling match, if you just want to see a brawl, this is what you got. This was beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful. Once again, to echo what I was talking about last night's show, the storytelling. The storytelling in this match was epic. between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, friends, former friends who have uh, kind of went in a different direction now, going after this title. And so Gunther mad because he has to fight these two guys in a triple threat match that he didn't want to be in. And so you have that element. People, this is amazing. This was an amazing match. As I said before, I really don't know how to really dive into it. All I can say is every individual involved in this match uh brought their A game. They left it all on the canvas. Every superstar uh had their moment of shine. It was no wasted movements. It was just one of those matches where I could sit back and say, "Boy, I can't wait to go back and watch this one again." And this is an instant classic. The triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, which we saw Gunther retain against Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus gets 5 stars. Great match, great WrestleMania match, everything that you could want on this show. All right, now we move on to the Raw Women's Championship. Your champion, Bianca Belair, is taking on Asuka. And this was this had a nice intro. I really like the intro by both of these young ladies. Especially Bianca using the that dance team from Compton. That was nice. I was actually feeling that. And when we get into the match, these are two highly skilled women. Very good match, very exciting match. Uh, there were spots in there where I was kind of hoping they'd pick it up a little bit, kind of the speed kind of slowed down, but it wasn't boring. It wasn't a boring match. It was entertaining. I like the spots. Uh, Oscar attempting to use the miss, she missed it. She missed the miss, and had some cool near falls in there, but ultimately Bianca Belair retains her Raw Women's Championship, and I think this was a pretty decent match. I give the Raw Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair and Asuka 3.5 stars. Pretty good, slightly above average, decent match. This leads us into a segment with the Miz and Snoop where they announced the attendance. I think 81,000 were in attendance Sunday night, and this is where things got a little interesting. uh, Miz was complaining that Snoop made the match last night against Pat McAfee. He wasn't ready for it. He was wearing a $10,000 suit. Blah blah blah, and Snoop with old head made him another match, pointed to the entrance way, and none other than the biggest shock. WrestleMania is known for their surprises, and this was the biggest surprise of all. Shane O'Mac, Shane McMahon himself. Here comes the money. He comes down the ramp, and man, every time Shane leaves, I always felt bad. He's never coming back because he never comes back on good terms, or he never leaves on good terms. There's always some foolishness behind it. And this last time, I really believed that he wasn't coming back, and he came back for this. I don't know how long, but he came back to take on the Miz, and for a little minute there, well, not even a minute. I'll say for about 15 seconds, he looked like he was ready to rumble. He's back to form. Did a leapfrog over. And I don't mean to laugh because it looked bad when it happened. He did a leapfrog over the Miz, and wouldn't you know, the man landed, and it looked like he just completely blew out his knee. And bruh, bruh, I'm laughing because I initially thought the first thing that ran across my mind was the Royal Rumble when Batista and John Cena went out the ring at the same time. And Vince McMahon was hot. And he comes down the ramp and he hops in the ring. And when he hops in the ring, he blew one of his quads, right? And so he tries to stand up on the other leg and he blew that quad. And he just sat in the middle of the ring. And on first day ran across my mind when Shane hit the mat. I was like, Bill, like father, like son. That's all I could think about, man. And it was like, oh my God, I felt so bad. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. But I gotta give props to Snoop Dogg because Snoop Dogg saved it. He came in, beat up the Miz, hit the Miz with the rock bottom, pinned him. But bruh, that was so brutal. I did. I just feel bad. This is honestly, this is how you use the Miz and all that. I didn't like the Pat McAfee's part, but I did like this. For the couple of seconds it was working with Shane McMahon. But you know, I hope he's all right. Hope he recovers. Uh, I'm not gonna rank that. This is more of a whatever little filler until we get to the Hell in a Cell, which was up next. Hell in a Cell, which consisted of the Demon Finn Balor versus Brood Edge. I was looking forward to this one. Big fan of both of these superstars. Thought it was gonna go another way. Didn't go the way I thought. Thought Finn Balor would win this. Ultimately, Edge won, but I think we got a little bit of deviation. Midway through the match, we saw that Edge threw a ladder at the Demon Finn Balor, and it busted him open, busted the top of his head open. But good on Finn Balor. He kept going. It was a momentary stoppage for a second or two, but they kept it going. So I think plans kind of changed as far as how the match was going to play out after that. Even though there were some tough spots after that. Table spots, there were chair shots, there were coup de grace off of the cage and all this here. There was some good spots after it, so it wasn't like the pace was slowed down too much. But it just felt like they had a pace going, and then the accident happened, and it felt like they had to kind of rev it back up after that. But it was still a good match. Enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it to be, but it still did what it was meant to do. And hope that this is the end to this little rivalry that feels like it's been going on for about a year. Um Actually it's been about a year. I hope this is the end of that so we can all move on and Finn Balor and the Judgment Day can do something other than beef with Edge. you know, uh, whatever. So the Hell in a Cell match between the Demon Finn Balor and Edge gets 3.5 stars. It was good. It was a decent match. Nothing to write home and tell mama about, but good and is all right. So we're moving on. We're speeding through night two here, and we've already arrived at the main event. Uh, this is how quick it was. Even though the show ended at what about 10:40, 10:45 somewhere up in there, it still moved kind of quick. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but uh, well, I'll address that later. Anyway, the main event, the match that we've all been waiting for, that we all tuned in to see, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match between our champion Roman Reigns against the Royal Rumble winner, the American Nightmare, the son of a plumber, Cody Rhodes. And man, this was the main event. This was the show that we've been waiting for. This truly was a main event match. Uh it was worked perfectly for Roman Reigns pace. If you watch Roman Reigns a lot, you know this is how he works. He works at his own pace, and it's at a good pace to really tell the story. This is what makes Roman Reigns one of the greats. I mean, all time greats. And I'm not speaking in hyperbole. I mean, he is one of the all time greats, man. Because not only can he wrestle, he can tell a story in the ring. And this was a epic fight. It was like a big fight, like the old heavyweight championship fights from back in the 80s and 90s, even, with Mike Tyson and stuff like that. It had that type of feel. And it didn't disappoint. This was a awesome match where we had numerous near falls. We had numerous run-ins. Solo Sokoa getting involved, being sent to the back. Perfect setup. Uh, we got a rep bump that allowed the Usos to come in and get involved in the match, which allowed Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to run in and get involved with the match. We see Sami Zayn deliver a hula kick to to Roman Reigns. Oh man, it was tight. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We went honestly throughout this match. You did not know who was going to win. At no point did you, just nail down like, oh yeah, Roman's gonna win, or oh yeah, Cody got this. At no point until finally, after Solo Sikoa returned, delivered the Samoan spike that allowed Roman Reigns to hit the spear to get the 1, 2, 3. Did you actually sit there like, yep, that's the winner? Because that's the only time that I was sure. And even after that, I was still like, ugh, I don't know. Can he kick out on this one? you know, I was hoping he kicked out, but didn't happen. Did not happen. Roman Reigns retains the WWE Universal Championship. And look, I'm all right with that. I would have been all right with it either way, to be 100% honest with you. I I was cheering for Cody. I loved the story. I loved the story he was telling. This is the championship that his father, his family could not get. Finally, at the opportunity to whereas he can get it, gets to the biggest stage of it all. He's never main evented WrestleMania. This is, I mean, all the story behind Cody Rhodes going into this match was great to follow. He just ran into an unmovable object, man. It was Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. This is why he is the champ. That's why he's been the champ for close to 1,000 days. And look, let's see what's going on moving forward. I'm interested to see who's going to challenge Roman Reigns next. I mean, flip a coin at this point. I don't know because he done ran through everybody. He has literally beaten everybody. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's next for him. But well, the ranking. The ranking for this match gets 4.5 stars. I give this a not quite a 5-star match, but it was very exciting to watch. A worthy main event. Not disappointed at all. As a whole, for night two was a letdown. Night two was nowhere near as exciting as night one. Night one had the better matches. I think it was better paced. I don't know. Just tonight, night two, it just seemed thrown together. It had a feel that it just was not. I don't know. I just can't put my finger on it. It just did not grip me like last night. Um, the best night of the match, aside from the main event, was the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. That stole the show. To be honest with you, as good as Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes match was, the best match of the night was that three triple threat match, in my humble opinion. But overall, for the weekend, really, really exciting WrestleMania. I'm not disappointed at the WrestleMania weekend as a whole. I had fun with it. It was exciting. It just it's just Sunday. It's these these matches tonight kind of left a bad taste. And this, if they would have flip flopped it, I probably would have felt better. But we kind of left on a sour note. I guess a little bit of me is upset because I wanted Cody to win. you know, I'm kind of bummed out by that. I'm being 100% honest with you. I'm a little bummed out by that. But overall, I did enjoy the match. I enjoyed this WrestleMania. Um, it's no way to rank it all together because it was so lopsided, from night one to night two. But overall, it was good. I want to know how you felt about this WrestleMania. Did you enjoy it? Did you think this was one of the best? I wouldn't put it at one of the best, but it definitely was entertaining. Um, Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also look me up on Twitter at KB Radio Network and on other social media platforms. Just look up the KB Radio Network. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. And if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Everyone, thank you for joining me for these 2 nights of WrestleMania 39, these recaps. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the first go around with faces and heels. I really enjoyed this. This was fun. This is something I've been wanting to do since we started the KB Radio Network. I was just waiting for the right time to do it, and I felt that this was the right time. And going forward, I can say that we this probably won't be a weekly show. Every now and then we'll probably pop up and do something, but this will mainly be centered around premium live events like Backlash coming up. This is when Faces in Hill will pop back up again. But until something different comes along, probably will, eventually down the line start doing it weekly. But right now, we're just going to focus on the monthly premium live events. So I hope you enjoyed this review, this recap of WrestleMania. Can't wait to speak to you again. Until then, don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers.